Now I'm going to talk about social justice. Slaughterhouse workers face one of the single most dangerous jobs in the country. If you worked in a slaughterhouse, your job might be cutting the right leg off cows. You're doing the same one motion thousands of times a day. This results in high rates of repetitive stress injuries, also called cumulative trauma injuries. Some of the workers can't even undress themselves when they get home because their muscles are clenched in working position. A recent study revealed the danger that these workers face. Tyson chicken slaughterhouses average at least one amputation per month. At least once a month, an employee loses a finger, hand, or arm. This quote from one of the researchers explains why there are so many accidents. They're working with machinery that is literally designed to cut bodies apart. Often, if these workers suffer injuries, they are fired and do not receive any type of compensation. Some companies won't even allow the workers to take bathroom breaks, so they're forced to wear diapers. In addition to being physically dangerous, the job is also deeply psychologically disturbing. None of us would want to slaughter animals for a living, right? Many workers develop post traumatic stress disorder, the same thing soldiers have after returning from a war zone, from seeing so much suffering and death day after day. They don't have access to basic health care, let alone adequate mental health care. So often they turn to alcohol or drugs in order to try to numb the pain. It's important to consider, if we couldn't bear to slaughter an animal ourselves, why pay someone else to do our dirty work for us? Speaking of dirty work, there's also the job of the late night cleaning crew. These people arrive at midnight, and by sunrise, they have to clean the remains of the 3,000 to 4,000 animals that have been slaughtered at the plant that day. Many of these workers are undocumented, and they usually make minimum wage and have zero health insurance or job protections. The third shift workers, as the cleaners are often called, wade through blood and grease and chunks of bone and flesh, racing all night to hose down the plant with disinfectants and scalding water. The stench is unbearable. Many workers retch. They're spraying a mix of 180-degree water and chlorine, and sometimes they have to clean while the machines are running, so this is an extremely dangerous job. Bloomberg News wrote about many of these workers. One was Martha. It was about 3:30 a.m. on July 7, 2011, when Martha finished cleaning conveyor belt FC3A on the main factory floor at Tyson's Holcomb, Kansas slaughterhouse. After powering the machine back on, she realized she had forgotten to wipe down a spot where fat collects under the side rail. So Martha reached under the moving belt to get at the smudge and lost her balance. As she tried to brace herself, her left hand got caught in the machine's roller, which reeled her in past her elbow, twisting and cracking her forearm. A supervisor heard her scream and shut down the line. Maintenance workers had to dismantle the guards and rollers to get her out. The radius and ulna bones could be seen sticking out of her arm in shards. Most accidents at the Holcomb plant are covered by Tyson's workers' comp insurance. But Martha didn't work for Tyson. The cleaning crew was employed by Packer Sanitation Services, Inc., the nation's largest cleaning contractor to the food industry. The meat packing industry has a hard enough time filling daytime production jobs, so many bigger plants staff the night shift through contractors such as Packers. These companies pay their largely immigrant workforce up to a third less than what production employees earn during the day. Martha was getting $202 a week. She couldn't work after the accident. Unfortunately, she got no money for her injury. There's also another dark side to fishing: slavery. Most of the seafood in the U.S. comes from Southeast Asia, where slavery is rampant. We're talking about people kept chained to the decks of ships and beaten if they try to escape. We're talking about children being forced to work 16-hour days peeling shrimp that are shipped to the United States for sale. If you want to make one easy change to help the oceans and social justice, you can stop eating shrimp. Ah, cuteness.